Hi, my name is Rebecca Chapman. I teach at Lake Norman High School. Before that, I taught at Ardrey Kell High School in CMS, and before that, I taught at Clinton High School in South Carolina. This is my 8th year of teaching. When I originally started teaching, I taught geometry, and then as the curriculum switched over in the state, I started teaching math too. At this school, I have several jobs besides teacher. I am also the JV men's soccer coach, and that's happening now in fall, and I am the JV women's soccer coach in spring. I am a student council advisor for the senior class. We host pep rallies, spirit weeks. We host a trunk or treat in fall and a spring carnival. The reason I joined this program is several years back when I was working at Ardrey Kell, they offered teachers a chance to work with the district on a grant called Impact. And what we did is we developed resources to help teachers during the time when the curriculum was changing to the Math 1, Math 2, Math 3. And that is because a lot of the textbooks weren't up to par with what we needed to teach. I remember at one point, I think I was teaching out of 2 textbooks, the Algebra 1, Algebra 2 book, and still pulling from the geometry stuff that I originally had. So what we did is we developed resources for teachers to use, whether it be worksheets, homeworks, activities, notes, so that way the teachers could feel comfortable saying, okay, well, I'm going to look at what they have, where I need to go with this, and either develop mine or manipulate theirs. When I moved to Lake Norman, there was actually a similar program with the district, and I currently work with that. So what we actually did is we went in and made a big document that has links to all the standards for every unit. The state came out with briefs. So, and that's the first thing, and that's one thing we emphasize is each PLC needs to read the unit briefs and then go through the rest of the information we provide. So in that document, the first thing is the briefs. We have the I can statements, the student should statements, and then we linked a pacing guide per day. The pacing guide has included notes. There's a couple different versions, honors, academic. There are Venn diagram notes versus Cornell note styles, and everything has answer keys. There's also practice sheets. There's added resources from the Common Core or the Core Plus book. So there's a lot of investigations that are linked on there. And then there's also videos that we made that are linked on there too. So every day has that for all of our 6 units. And that way, if any of the teachers go out on maternity leave, or if there is a new teacher and they're just overwhelmed because they might be teaching more than one course or more than one course, then they can go to that document for aids. We also have a couple of our schools that are in jeopardy of being taken over from the state, so they are using that closely with a teaching coach. And that is actually what I would like to do someday, is be a teaching coach and help struggling teachers or beginning teachers or teachers in general with developing different activities, rearranging their classroom, and someday maybe move up into the district so that I can be over multiple schools and over teaching coaches. My current thing that I am looking for so I can help teachers is rearranging different aspects of Canvas. So that way I have the aspect of how the different levels of students respond differently to the web pages. So my academic is going day by day, so everything's labeled as the date. Where honors, because they are more college bound, everything's labeled by the content. And then from there, they're given a pacing guide. So they just look on and they're saying, okay, well, today we went over linear functions. So on my Canvas page, I'm going to go to linear functions. So it's set up a lot like, I feel like our course is. But then we also have the dates, which is where my academic is. So I'm trying to experiment every semester a little bit with the different areas of how this program could help me see different curriculum and how it relates to the students. Last semester, I worked with trying to create a different approach to the inclusion students. So, what I did is I looked at different ways a problem can be presented and highlighted key facts. And then from there, we did step by step processes. So, I would like to continue on that, and I feel like this program can help me. A fun fact about me is I love traveling. It started when I just ended my 11th grade year. I was going, so it was the summer of going into my senior year. I actually went on a mission trip to Africa and taught in Shimba Hills, which is in Kenya. We taught elementary students. We actually lived in the village at the mission camp, and it just opened my eyes, and I fell in love with traveling and trying to help people. I've also taught in Haiti. I went there a couple of summers ago for a week and a half. I worked with their teachers, helping them develop curriculum, helping them trying to um, manipulate the resources they had, and also to make the math they were teaching more tangible, and also to get the students out of their desk, and to for it not to be a repetitive process, because that's how they taught. Everything was very repetitive. I wanted the students to link the content and actually master, okay, this is why I'm doing this. I just actually got back from backpacking through Europe, and it was amazing. Me and my friend went. I've done several trips where me and my friend have went. Last year, I backpacked through Guatemala. I think that was probably my best trip ever. We we met up with a group that travels through Guatemala. It was a 3-day trip, hiking trip, and we watched a volcano. It was just giving off little smoke clouds as the sun rose up, so the sun was rising. We took pictures. It was great. We went to a coffee factory. Everything was amazing in Guatemala, and that was the countryside. I've also been to Aruba, the Bahamas, Germany, Ireland. I've been all over. The next trip I want to plan is probably, I would say, like Scotland or New Zealand, somewhere outdoorsy.